We've recently returned from a cruise on P&O Arvia around the Mediterranean. Arvia is P&O's newest, largest ship in its fleet. Find out exactly what we thought. Is it the family-friendly ship that they claim it to be?
We went on a 2-week cruise in May 2023. Our opinions are just from that one cruise. If you disagree with us, then don't forget to put it down in the comments below. As long as you're polite, we love a different opinion and we can have a discussion. Please don't book or cancel your Arvia cruise just solely on our video today. But hopefully you'll find some hints and tips and some useful information, and then watch loads of other videos, head on Cruise Critic, and then make your decision on whether Arvia will be the ship for you. We love cruising and we always have an amazing time. But as we've been on quite a few cruises, we always find things we like and things we don't like, and we tell you all about it. We have a voting system and it's always out of 40, and each individual subject is out of 5, including embarkation, ship,
food, entertainment,
service, that would be an interesting one, the ports we visit, and then we do give it that score out of 40, and we head into this leaderboard here. You can see the leaderboard, but where will Arvia end up? So let's find out. Let's kick things off with embarkation.
So we were fortunate enough that we won our bid of an upgrade and we were in a mini suite, which was a conservatory suite. Check out the link for that video here. So we actually had early embarkation time due to this. We turned up at 11:30.
Yep.
And we were basically straight into the on-time queue, straight into the terminal. Slight little glitch with security, we're running a little bit late, but we were on the ship within an hour, if that, really.
Yeah.
So really, really speedy embarkation.
It was nice and quiet, wasn't it? And as you said, there is now a queue, so if you do turn up early, you will get into one queue, and you've got to wait for your time, so don't bother turning up early.
Don't turn up early.
But we went straight in because we were on time. But yeah, it was really efficient, I would say. We have docked it half a point. It's 4.5 because a few weeks before we went on Royal Caribbean, and they've got the app, and Princess have got app. Lots of cruise companies now have got apps which you can use on shoreside and also on the ship, and it makes embarkation the smoothest ever. Yeah. So P&O, get yourself an app and you'll get yourself 5 out of 5. But it was a pretty good embarkation.
Very good, yeah. Couldn't really fault it.
Give it 4.5 out of 5.
4.5. Next, should we talk about the ship?
About the ship. Okay, first of all, we're going to talk about the good points.
The good points. So, it is a beautiful ship. If you've been on Iona before, it's very, very similar to Iona. In fact, it's the exact same layout. It's just the top decks that are a little bit different. And there's a few variations on restaurants, which we will come to. The ship is really easy to navigate. I tend to get lost quite easily when we go on a cruise ship, but it's really straightforward. I
do love the atrium on, well, I like parts of the atrium. I like the fact that you can see the sea. It's very bright, it's very light. There's other parts with the restaurants, which I'll get to with food, I don't like. The Sky Dome on here with the retractable roof, sound was a lot better, wasn't it, than Iona?
Yeah, much better than Iona, yeah.
Yeah, there's terrible sound. I really do like when you can get a seat in the Sky Dome. We do love it. The MDR's full of light at the back, really like that. And as you said, there's plenty of lifts to get around. And probably my favourite part of, or two favourite parts, I do love, well, when it's quiet, again, it was very, very busy. I do love the infinity pools at the rear. I think they look good.
They could be a bit bigger, but yes, they look
good. We'll get onto the bad and the bad points. And my last point, my best favourite part is the sunset bar on the ship. And also what they do there is they also have music. They have kind of sort of, I would say, like peak tong kind of like. They
have a DJ basically in a bar, and then when you have a sail away, you have some really good tunes playing, get a drink. Now on to the not so good points of the ship. One of the big things I would say about this ship is the capacity that it actually holds is...
about 5,000.
About 5,000, maybe a little bit more.
Let me research it first.
It doesn't really hold all of those people. So when I say that, I mean things like outside space. Sunbeds were just an absolute nightmare. You know, like when you go to an all-inclusive resort and you look outside at 6 o'clock in the morning and every single sunbed is full with the towel? it was exactly the same on Arvia. I think one morning I went out at 9 o'clock and I managed to find 2 sunbeds. Everyone was saving them. We heard people in quizzes basically saying, oh, our sunbeds better be there in 2 hours' time. Not fair. P&O, you really need to adopt the same principles as Royal when no one's allowed to save a sunbed.
Yep.
So that's a really big gripe for me, because I think it did take a little bit away from our holiday and we had to be inside a lot because there was nowhere for us to sit outside.
Yeah.
The finishing touches on the ship. So I'm not sure if Tom will put this little bit of footage in or not, but there was a day when it was pouring down with rain, and in the Sky Dome, water was just pouring from the side into the Sky Dome. There were lots of areas of the flooring where it had raised due to the heat. And yeah, the finishing touches just weren't quite there. I think maybe they got Arvia out a little bit too quickly and didn't finish off just those clean edges, which I think, and you do notice them because they were in very visible places.
So my main grudge, and I'm going to make this quick because we recorded this twice because she said I was too boring. It's been touted as a really family-friendly ship. P&O has always been known as traditional ship, traditional cruise ship. And Arvia, main headlines were high ropes, golf, escape room. They were the big things that actually drew us in.
Yeah.
And the problems with this is golf, great, but you do it twice, 10 minutes, done. Doesn't absorb anyone. High ropes, Ernest couldn't go on it.
And he's a tall 8-year-old, so it's 1.4 metres they need to be to get on it.
The one on Virtuosa and MSC is you can go up there, you walk around, it's great fun, great views, easy to do. This one, you have a 20-minute instruction, which, it's a bit challenging, so if you like challenging, it will be great. But it's closed a lot because of high winds. I would say we tried to go 4 times before we get on it because of the high winds. So that doesn't absorb people. It's cut the games court in half, or probably in quarter actually.
It's tiny.
So if one person's playing basketball, no one can play football, it's not worth having it there. So with all the extra stuff, they've cut that into a quarter. Escape room, it's okay, it's nothing amazing. But again, you've done it once. Doesn't absorb anyone. So all that means is all the kids are finding other things to do. For example, when we were in the swim-up bar, or the walk-up bar, you got loads of kids in there. Not blaming the parents, not blaming the kids, because there was no room in the pools. That needed to be something like a water park, which absorb all the kids. Ernest could have gone on there. He would be in there half a day, probably nearly every day. He would be on there. So we salute you for trying new things, but on the whole, to me, it doesn't absorb the kids. That means kids go elsewhere, people moan. So I would say, yes, well done for trying, but really, it should have been something like a water park, and I would have, escape room, okay, great headline again, but something like a cheap arcade.
An arcade would have been amazing.
Yeah.
And another thing with that is the entertainment that was going on throughout the day wasn't very child friendly. So for instance, on Royal Caribbean, they have a lot of quizzes that the kids can get involved in, like a Disney quiz or music quizzes. The ones on P&O, I mean, we really struggled with them, to be honest with you. They were quite difficult quizzes to do. Exactly. So the kids, I mean, they weren't bored. We kept them entertained for 2 weeks. But if you're looking for your child to be completely occupied for a whole 2 weeks with loads of stuff going on, then I probably wouldn't say this is.
And this was almost caught in the middle, wasn't it? Because there was the splash park for small kids, and then there was the rest of the thing. But even then, so I would say make a bigger step, P&O.
Yeah.
Make a bigger step, because we take reflections from the kids, so they tell us what we think. And Ernest was pretty bored. And
another point with the kids club, there were 700 children on board when we were on. So Alice's age group, there was space every single session for her at the age of 10. For Ernest at the age of 8, there were so many 5 to 8-year-olds that we couldn't book them into a single session. He wasn't very bothered by that, but there were a lot of very frustrated parents. So it's almost like maybe they should have had a look at that and done different cohorts, or made sure that everybody got the opportunity to try Kids Club, because it wasn't fair that it was the same people getting it day in and day out, because they were up at 8:30 on the app trying to get in, but we're just not that organised.
So in summary, it's a beautiful ship in some parts, it works in some parts, but the big headline of really family friendly ship, I would say it's missed the mark a little bit.
Yeah, I would say.
3 out of 5?
3 out of 5 for the ship.
Before we go on to our next one, let me talk about like and subscribing. If you have not subscribed, why have they not subscribed, Rachel?
Do it.
Yes, and hit that subscribe button. It's completely free, and we've got loads of amazing cruise content coming the rest of the year and in 2024. And don't forget to follow us on all of our social medias, which are
Twitter,
TikTok,
Instagram,
And I do want threads.
Still don't get that one.
Let's move on to our next one, which is the cabin.
The cabin. So as we explained earlier, we were upgraded to a mini suite. So we had a conservatory cabin on deck 8, which is a little bit controversial. If you would like to see the video of that, it's just up in the corner.
We never know which corner we're looking at.
Wherever Tom's going to put it. The cabin.
But they give us the headlines and then they can watch that video.
So the cabin was lovely. It was spacious. It was clean. It was big.
Could have done more with the conservatory. We thought,
Could have done more with the conservatory.
Why is it not for bombers?
And drawers. Bring back drawers. And I'm guessing it's a cost thing because it's a lot cheaper to just make a cupboard than it is to stick a drawer in. But it's really frustrating not having any drawers anywhere in a cabin.
But we love the TV in there.
Films are all included. So for children,
excellent.
I think Ernest managed to watch every single kid's film. So that was a lot of his time was occupied watching all of the films in the cabin. But
bathroom we love. We do love P&O bathrooms.
Yeah, on the newer ships, yeah.
Yeah, really, really good. So that, and just quickly on deck 8, you're going to watch the video, so we don't need to go over it too much. But we didn't mind the noise. We didn't really mind people walking past, but we did miss the immediate sea views.
We did, yeah.
Did we summarise that quite well?
Yeah, I think we did. So the cabin gets a 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. Service. Oh, she's got a view on this. So
got a few views on this.
So let's start with the good.
The good.
The good. No, we did have some good.
We did.
We had a very good cabin steward.
We did.
Very
Angela
nice.
was very wonderful, yes.
And generally, I would say people, all the crew,
one-on-one were really good.
really friendly. And any of our criticisms is about the general structure of the service and the training. Never individual. We know, I know, because I worked, do you know I worked on a cruise ship?
Did you?
Yeah, I did, yeah. I'll tell you the story one day. That they work really hard. So much harder than I'll ever work on my day-to-day job. Well, actually, most people work harder than my day-to-day job. But we know they work really, really hard. They just don't stop for 6 months. So any criticisms we're about to say is nothing to do with them. We know they work hard, but. So
I think with how many passengers Arvia can take, it needs a lot more staff.
No more crew.
A lot more crew. There were certain areas. So I think the main bits of service, it was mainly dining, drinks, where we really struggled. Service in the dining rooms, everyone just looked really grumpy, rushed. The staff were only ever too eager to tell you how exhausted they were, which is never a good sign.
Well, they didn't really engage, really.
No, they just...
No, we
so rushed, and you could see that they were really rushed. You could see that they were working really, really hard. There were a lot of customers on the ship who we heard being quite disrespectful to members of staff.
Which is out of order.
Which is very out of order. You never say anything individually. We did have one incident in Sindhu where Tom and the children went off to watch a show, and the manager came to me and said, "Oh, is everything okay?" And I said, "Well, the food was okay, but the service is really, really slow in here." And he said, "Well, you need to allow an hour and a half for service." And I was like, "That's fine, but actually we've been in here for 2 hours and we haven't had a dessert, and we got one drink and then no one came round to see if we wanted another drink. Our waiter was actually in the other corner serving a lot of people."
Yeah,
and
I think he had half the restaurant.
He did, and I felt so awful for him that at the end I did obviously thank him. I gave him a nice tip, made him smile, just because I felt so awful. And I was apologising to him, saying, "It's not your fault, I can see how busy you are." But that really impacted. We love Sindhu, and it really impacted on that, and we didn't go back there again.
There seems to be a lot of managers wandering around that halfway through the meal come up to you, and they don't seem to be doing much, and they come up to you and say, "Are you enjoying it?" And then if you say something different than not, they just seem to drift away and go, "Ah, yes." I would say a big thing. We're not expecting celebrity cruise type service. We know the level of P&O app, but we have basics. That's all I want is the basic. Walk in and say, "Hello, welcome to the diner." We love the diner, but the service was always terrible. All they did is always guaranteed you go into a restaurant, you'd be sitting there and suddenly they'd be standing next to the table waiting to take your order. So no sort of welcome, no hello, like how are you? There's none of that ever. Never got asked for a drink in the 2 weeks. The menu, I don't think they got the training of the menus. So if you asked a question about the menu, Rachel loves that question. Every time we go to a restaurant, "Oh, what would you recommend?" And sorry, and but no, it's a question that lots of people ask. And they either got bad advice or they just didn't know. No. And how many times we asked for something and they just seemed to know about it. There was a thing about Sprite. Every time we asked for Sprite, they just didn't know Sprite or lemonade. I don't know. There was just then the meals just seemed to be thrown in front of you, and
Or they just didn't turn up.
Or they didn't turn up. Or something wrong came.
Yeah.
It seemed to me they were overworked, badly trained, and so it was just unfortunate. They just need more training. They need, and as I said, it's just the basics.
With silver service, I mean, P&O are really good for a budget holiday, but you expect
the basics.
Half decent service, yeah.
Which is a real shame. So unfortunately, what are we giving it?
A 1. Something maybe they can improve on, but then I think we did have the same on Iona, didn't we?
Yeah,
with
true.
Service. Yeah, food.
Next on the list is food. So Rachel, the good points on the food. Let's show them what we eat and tell them the good points.
So despite having shocking service on a lot of the nights, the food was fantastic. I could not fault the food. I think the diner was an absolutely brilliant concept.
Great.
The food was really, really good. You can have breakfast, brunch and dinner in there. We did try all 3 and they were all excellent.
Amazing songs. Love the 50s.
Amazing songs, yeah. There's a jukebox. Just ask the waiter for a token and you can play your own song. Olive Grove, again, that is included on the ship, and that was really, really good, really tasty.
Yeah.
Green & Co. So this we found to be an excellent addition to Arvia. It was something we weren't really expecting to be as good as it was. As soon as Tom said, we're going to be eating in a vegetarian and vegan restaurant, I think my face said it all. Actually, it was possibly one of the best meals that we did have.
So that's an extra charge. For the 5 of us with drinks, it was around £82. But I would say it was definitely worth it. And if you look at the menu and think, what the hell is this? Go with it and you'll love it. And it's such a shame because it was half full nearly all the time.
Yeah, it wasn't very busy.
So hopefully they do stick with it. Beach House, we always love Beach House.
Beach House is always lovely. Yeah, never any complaints. Food is really good. We did
£12
actually have...
per person? £10 per person.
Yes, £10.50 per person.
Yeah. Which is really, really good. Sindhu, although disappointing service, the food was still pretty good. It's a pretty much a staple, isn't it?
Yeah. The Glass House. So Glass House, you join the virtual queue, as you do with quite a few of these. Service, again, was very, very slow. Food was good when it eventually...
Disappeared for half an hour.
When it eventually got there an hour and a half later, the food was good.
My only points about both Glass House and Keeling Cow, we'll talk about Keeling Cow in just a second, is they lack atmosphere for me because they're mixed in the atrium.
Yeah.
They can still be in the atrium, but they need to be separated off. They just completely lose the atmosphere. But we had good food in Glass House. We'll get onto the Keeling Cow because that'll be in our bad points or most improved. And the Quays. We always have the Quays. So the Quays is obviously 3 serving counters. You've got, like Iona, you've got fish and chips, which was always good. You've got the fusion. Katsu curry was amazing. It's lovely. And then you've got the roast now, which is different. On Iona, it's burgers. And actually, I thought, oh God, this is going to be like a poor man's Toby Carvery. It was good. Really, really, really good. Absolutely massive thumbs up for that. Really. The MDR was okay. I had a pretty disappointing. We only went in there once. You had a good steak, so it's hard to judge that. But our main point is actually you don't need to go into the main restaurant.
There's so many other choices.
With Olive Grove, with the diner, with the Quays, and the buffet was okay.
The buffet. So the buffet at breakfast and lunch is normally a lot better than it is in the evening. I think P&O do love a roast dinner. So at night, it is just a variation of a roast.
Yes.
On repeats. And a cheese selection for pudding.
But with the other things, you don't have to be an MDR. So I think actually the included options are excellent. Really, really good. So well done for that. Things you'll improve. Surprisingly, we've had 2 not amazing meals in the Keeling Cow.
Yeah, so we went in one night and myself, Alice and Tom's mum all ordered the pork belly. So Tom's mum's came out perfectly cooked. Mine and Alice's came out and I couldn't find the meat on it. The fat on it was that thick. So I'm normally quite polite, believe it or not. And I don't like sending things back, but I did say, actually, this is just fat. Please, could this be changed? And also the crackling on it. Well, if I'd wanted chipped teeth, I could have used a hammer.
yeah. So that was slightly disappointing.
Yeah.
So our disappointing, we're giving it a 4 out of 5. I think
4 out of 5 for food.
I think breakfast and definitely the MDR needs to improve. The buffet still needs a little improvement, but in general, you're going to eat well.
Yeah. And the other place we haven't mentioned is the Epicurean again, which was amazing.
Oh yeah,
And also
goes without saying.
Taste 360, I'm sure that is what it's called.
Yeah, the fast food place, you're really good. Good
Yeah.
for fast food.
Yeah,
for
when you're
level.
around the pool, perfect for the kids. They can just go up and get whatever they want.
So it was close between 4 and 4.5. But I would say just 4.
Yeah.
Could have been 4.5. But yeah, so that is the food. Next up on our list is entertainment. Were you entertained, Rachel? What are the good points?
The quizzes were really good. Really enjoyed a lot of the quizzes.
Progressive quiz, we love that. You do that every C day and then you get a total score, which we love that.
We do just want to make one point here, though. The entertainment staff, I'm sorry, I've just got to add this into entertainment because it seems to go here the best.
Oh yeah.
It's just a little bit too old-fashioned.
Why are you still
They're
wearing
in
suits?
a full-on suit.
Blazer, it's like a blazer.
In the Mediterranean. Just, yeah.
Get with 2023.
Yeah.
It just seemed
We
a lot.
don't need to see you in a suit. Actually, we'd rather see you more relaxed in a t-shirt and a pair of nice shorts.
Well, I don't know whether I've told you before, but I was on the entertainment team at P&O in 2000.
And you were wearing exactly the same thing.
It was exactly the same.
Yeah.
They
that
need,
many years ago.
They need to have but yeah, we enjoyed the quizzes. Other things that we enjoyed, comedians was a mixed bag. There were 2 which were horrendously unfunny,
People
but
just
I guess that's comedians for you. The one we absolutely loved was, think of his name.
Manuel Martinez.
Yes, he was excellent.
Absolutely fantastic. Brilliant.
Absolutely
Haven't laughed so much in a long time.
We loved all the shows. The sound was a lot better in the Skydome. We loved all the team up there, actually. They did some really unusual... They did that... you'll see it now, unusual show. I can't remember what that show was called, but you sang in it.
Oh, it was the X show?
Yes. It was really, really good.
It was funny.
Then they do entertainment in the day for kids, which was... they did the... Was it Shaun the Sheep and stuff?
Yes.
Yeah, which was good.
So they had about 2 or 3 days for a whole 2 weeks where there was...
Drone show was excellent. Just wanted to say the tribute acts were really good. Ollie Murs was excellent. Shania Twain, I really enjoyed Shania Twain. Good. Yeah, so they brought on some really, really good tribute acts, which were excellent. The entertainment on the whole was pretty good. But what would they like to improve? How about Greatest Day? Do you think they could have improved that?
I was really disappointed. I'm a massive Take That fan.
Was it not your greatest day?
No, it was awful.
Yeah, I preferred.
They weren't very. I don't think the team were very strong singers with a lot of Take That songs, and a lot of the story was just kind of. Wow. It was sold as a Take That show, and it wasn't at all. I think the show actually in the UK is meant to be fantastic, so I am going to go and see it, but I think it was condensed to such a shorter version that a lot of it got lost. And actually...
They couldn't really shine, could they?
No.
Sorry. You have to have patience for my jokes. And a lot of the shows also as well we'd seen on Iona, so we didn't really want to go and see them again. So actually there's the same shows that were on Iona, so maybe that's slightly disappointing as well.
Yeah, we didn't really go in the headliners theatre very much, did we? And actually because it was a Mediterranean cruise, it was so warm, we spent quite a lot of our evenings outside or having a later dinner, didn't we really? Yeah. So we did miss out on a few shows.
And do you know what probably the highlight was us singing karaoke?
You singing karaoke, I was horrendous.
Yeah,
Sorry to anyone that saw us.
Luckily we were the last people on.
Yeah.
What an ending, eh? But in general, we do enjoy the entertainment. A few improvements, and we give it a 4 out of
5.
The ports. Where did we go on our cruise on Arvia?
So, we went to Valencia.
Yeah.
Cadiz.
Yeah.
Barcelona.
Yeah. La Coruña.
La Coruña.
Yes.
And Cartagena.
Yes.
Cartagena.
So first of all, Cartagena was changed because we were going to Marseille, but for some reason. But Cartagena was beautiful. It was really nice, but it was a bit rainy that day.
No. Yeah. Valencia was absolutely fantastic, and it was really good on our day in Valencia because P&O claimed that the shuttle company hadn't provided enough buses. Not that they hadn't ordered enough buses. So actually, they decided that we were going to stay in port for an extra 2 hours, which meant that our sail away time was 8 p.m. So we actually made the most of the day, didn't we? And we spent the whole day. So we went to the town and then we went to the beach and spent the day at the beach.
But if you want the full story, me as Hasselhoff on the beach will tell you in our vlog, which was out last week, and we'll put it in the corner. Okay. You get the full story there. I'm not naked on the beach. We had an overnight in Barcelona, which was amazing. We love an overnight. We went out and met friends, didn't we? And then
we did, yeah, it was really good.
Again, we'll put some in the corner because Barcelona we absolutely love. There's so much to do in Barcelona, and having an overnight is great. We enjoyed La Coruña.
La Coruña, yeah, I think that was quite. What's the word I'm looking for? It was a lot more than I was expecting. Tom told us he was going to take us to a big lighthouse.
I did. It was the tallest lighthouse in the world.
And it was brilliant.
Still working.
Worked?
Yeah. I think so. And I guess, yeah, so really, really good point. My only couple of points I'll say is, as we said in the vlog, why didn't we stay later at most of the ports? Because we were just going really slow to the next port. And I think they could have stuck in another port as well.
Yeah, I think 7 ports for a 2-week cruise, when you're that close to each one, is pretty poor, really. It's obviously...
Well, no, we doing it 5, didn't we? And it'd be 6.
Yes.
6, we did it overnight, so it would normally be 6, but overnight you do 5. But yeah, they could have
put some.
And yeah, so we're giving it a 4 out of 5 next time later, and more ports, please.
Yes, please.
Value for money. Rachel, did we get value for money? This is our final subject.
Yes, I think we did.
So what did we pay? I will tell you now. We paid...
this might be news to me because he always rounds things down by about £1,000.
So we paid $4,200 and we won a bid of $400 to go from a deluxe to a conservatory suite. So that's $4,600, but we had almost $1,000 of onboard credit.
We did, yes, we did.
And we used that on drink, which drink prices are really good. So basically, $4,600 with $1,000 onboard credit. Really, really good value. What we love about value on P&O is drink prices, great.
Yes, it's like going to your local pub. Very similar prices.
We discussed that there.
Yeah.
And we also, for families, we look at families, there's loads of films on the TV, all free, great entertainment, which you might think, oh, why would you want to be in your cabin? But there's times you just want to rest, so that is excellent. A lot of things are included.
Yeah. So the only things entertainment-wise that aren't included are the high ropes and the escape room. Mini golf's included.
Yeah.
One really good thing about Arvia, having the 6th Street Diner and having the Olive Grove.
Yes.
It is those two, isn't it?
Yes.
Instead of the MDRs is a really, really good addition, I think, because then it just gives everyone another opportunity to go somewhere different other than the MDR. Like Tom did say at the beginning, these are completely our opinions. We did have a fantastic 2 weeks. Yes, we might have moaned a little bit about service, but we are actually the kind of people that just go, it is what it is, just get on with it and don't let it ruin your holiday.
Never ruins our cruise.
No, despite the fact that the service was poor, we weren't really that bothered. And we weren't on a drinks package either, so we were like, oh well, we're saving a bit of money, we'll go back to the cabin and get a drink.
So we gave it 4.5 out of 5 because it is good value for money.
Yes,
so well done P&O on that point. So we put all those scores together and it gave us a 29 out of 40. So there is room for improvement, but as you can see, we did give it a pretty good score.
Leaderboard, yeah.
So as you can see, the leaderboard, Seaview is up the top with 33.
We did love Seaview.
Yeah. And we've got Anthem in there, we've got Iona, which is better, and then just behind that is Arvia. So thank you very much. If you agree with us or disagree, as long as you're polite, get it down in the comments.
Yeah.
What else should they do?
Reply. You should hit that like button, maybe the subscribe.
It's free of charge, and we've got some amazing, we've got Cunard on the way, and we've also
have
got a little bit of Yacht Club coming up as well. And coming up, we have got every cabin that's available on Iona and Arvia in one short, nice video.
Oh, have we?
Amazing. And we've got a guide to Kids Club, and we've got a Q&A coming up as well. So make sure you hit that subscribe. Don't forget to hit that like button. We'll see you very soon. The link at the end will be to our ship tour. But what we can say now is...
happy cruising!